Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the video. Today I want to go over the grid with you. The grid is an exercise that's used by drum lines and drum corps all over the place to build chops, control, and accents and taps. Today I want to take you through the basic structure of the grid as it shows up in triplet-based rudiments and give you a couple of examples that you can take with you. For me personally, it's completely changed my playing and taken my hands to the next level as far as playing rudimental passages or just executing chopsy passages in general. So let's get started. First, let's talk about what the grid is. The grid is not an exercise as much as it is an approach to rudiments. In triplet-based rudiments, the grid would imply taking an accent, which normally is on the beat, and moving it from partial to partial of the triplet. So you'll play it on the first partial of the triplet, the second partial of the triplet, and the third partial of the triplet. Here's how that sounds if I play it for 4 beats each, just moving those accents from one partial to the next at a slow speed. So that's the basic underlying idea behind the grid. You're going to have this accent movement as it shows up in a few different ways. So this exercise, as you formalize it, it turns into 3 major sections. The first major section is moving that accent every 4 beats. So you're going to start out playing the accent on the first partial of triplets for 4 beats. Then you're going to move it over to the second partial of the triplet for 4 beats, and then to the third partial for 4 beats. You're going to play through that section 1 time. The second section is you're going to move the accent pattern every 2 beats. So you're going to play on the first partial for 2 beats, then on the second partial for 2 beats, then on the third partial for 2 beats, and you're going to repeat this section to do it 2 times in total. The third major section is when you move the accent every beat. So you're going to play on the first partial for 1 beat, the second partial for the second beat, and the third partial for the third beat. And then you're going to play through this section 4 times. So you have 3 sections. Move it every 4 beats, move it every 2 beats, and then move it every beat. When you get to this third section, you're going to notice an interesting 4/3 pattern, and it might throw you off at first when you're starting to practice it. So just watch out, and be sure to practice it slowly so that you get the hang of it and really are able to keep yourself within the triplet feel while you're playing those patterns. So here's a demonstration of that at a slow speed so that you can listen to it and get the hang of it. Now, if you had trouble with that, seeing it just 1 time, be sure to watch that a few times so you can really get the hang of it and how it works. It's very important that you get the basic structure of this exercise so you can start applying it to more complicated patterns as you go along. This exercise can become incredibly chopsy very quickly, depending on what rudiment you're deciding to apply it to. So it's important you get the basic structure first. As you get the basic structure of it, be sure to speed it up so you can continue to maintain the same feel as you increase the tempo. Here's some examples of higher tempos of the grid. So once you get the hang of that, you can start messing around with the triplet-based rudiments and applying the grid to those. And this is where it really becomes challenging and you really start getting some productivity out of the practice sessions. So we're going to start with the flam accent. This is a good way to start because you're not only going to address the movement of the accents, you're also going to be talking about grace notes, taps, and accents, which are three slightly different heights. Two of them are slightly different, one of them is majorly different. So this starts to develop a lot of control because you have to in order to pull it off. So let's get started with that. So as you can see, there's a lot of accents to taps, taps to accents, accents to grace notes to accents, etc. And that is going to take some practice with whatever accent tap exercise you already have to make sure that you can pull that off so that when you're approaching this exercise, you'll be able to play it cleanly and play it with control. But this exercise does wonders to develop that skill in itself. And like I said, it'll probably change your hands. It did for me. So be sure to practice this slowly at first to make sure you develop the confidence and sureness in your hands of the exercise before you proceed to higher speeds. I'm going to demonstrate some higher speeds so that you can see what you're shooting for eventually, or soon, depending on where you're at in your own journey. And I'm only going to go to about 150 myself. And I'm going to do that because that's about my max. If I start trying to push it further than that, I'm going to start playing dirty. And I don't want to show you me trying to push past what my actual limit is. So you're going to see this at various tempos going up to 150. So once you get the hang of the flam accent, you can start exploring some more complex rudiments. I'm going to show you the flam drag because that's a really good one to start testing your chops. It forces you to pay attention to how you get from one partial to the next partial and to the next partial and then back to the top of the beat. Because you're going from a flam directly to a diddle, you're going to be forcing yourself to approach that in a different way than you would the regular flam accent. So I'm going to show you this at a slow speed to start with at 75, and I'm going to have the printout right next to me so you can read along as I play it. So here's the flam drag grid at 75 BPM. Once you get the hang of that at a slow speed, you can start speeding it up. And this is where it really starts to become an impressive exercise and a really good test of your chops and your control and your consistency. So be sure to practice this one very slowly to start with, just like everything else, and gradually increase the tempo. I'm gonna only go up to about 150 because, like I said before, that's about my max speed, especially with this one. So I don't want to show you me attempting to play something at a higher speed than I'm actually capable of. So here's some multiple tempos of the flam drag grid, maxing out at about 150. So that's the grid. It's a great exercise for building your chops and building your control, and it's certainly done wonders for my playing. It's helped me to pay attention to details of my playing that I never did before, and it helped me to play more cleanly with a lot more control with my accents and taps, and to really pay attention to what I wanted from that. So I hope that this helped you, that you're able to take this exercise and improve your own playing. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I'll be putting these videos out every other week. Leave a comment below telling me what you would like to learn about. I'd love to see what you have to say so that I can address what people are really wanting to know. Thanks so much, and I hope to see you at the next one.